This is my mind map of the brain. So for this mind map, I decided to focus on the physical structures of the brain. So obviously, it is connected to the spinal cord, and that goes hand in hand with the brain in controlling the central nervous system. But I decided to leave that for another day because that feels like a whole nother kettle of fish to cover in one single mind map. So for this one, we're just focusing on the main regions of the brain, the brainstem, the deeper structures of the brain, and the cerebellum. So within the brainstem, we have the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla. They are all responsible for vital bodily functions that we kind of needed as a base level to survive. So the midbrain, being the connection to the spinal cord, is also responsible for stuff like reflexes, movement, and just reactions to the world around us. So I guess in my mind, I'm thinking of a caveman having the reflexes they need to, survive, stop falling out of trees, run away, detect predators around them. I don't know why that comes to mind, but it does. And then we have the pons responsible for REM during sleep, and the medulla handling the really essential baseline bodily functions like breathing, heart rate, and metabolism. So that is the most important part of the brain from my perspective, all the vital functions that we need to survive. If we move on to the deeper structures of the brain, we have places like the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus, and the amygdala. Along with the temporal lobe, they are responsible for a lot of emotions. The emotional center of the brain. The hypothalamus managing the physiological states in relation to emotion, like hunger and thirst. The amygdala processing emotional cues, and the hippocampus within the deeper structure of the brain is also responsible for a lot of memory formation and storage. If we move along to the cerebellum, we have places like the frontal lobe are responsible, and within that you have the primary motor cortex, you have the parietal lobe, and within that the primary somatosensory cortex, so responsible for senses like touch, pain, heat, temperature. And then we have the occipital lobe, responsible for processing visual information, and the temporal lobe, which memory formation, storage, language, emotional recognition. So there are a lot of interconnected and intertwined parts of the brain, and we still don't know enough about what any of them do and how they rely on and react to each other and how they can compensate for each other when people have like memory conditions, memory loss, brain injuries. It's really fascinating, and I look forward to seeing what happens next.